All right, let's talk about one of the most important technologies that you probably use every single day, but might never actually see. It's called virtualization. And honestly, it's the secret sauce that makes our modern digital world go round. So let's get right into it and figure out how this whole thing works.
So whenever you do pretty much anything online, stream a movie, send an email, hop on a social media app, you're actually connecting to a building that looks a lot like this one. This is a data center. It's basically a giant, super secure warehouse packed with powerful computers called servers. Every website, every app, all of it, it all lives on a real, physical machine somewhere inside one of these places.
Now just imagine for a second, what if each one of those powerful servers could only do one job? You'd have one machine just for email, a totally separate one for the company website, another one for the database. Believe it or not, that's how things used to be. And it was, well, incredibly wasteful. It was expensive, and most of that computing power was just sitting there, doing nothing most of the time. There just had to be a better way, right?
Well, there was, and that better way is virtualization. It's this really elegant, really powerful solution that completely changed the game, flipping that wasteful one server, one job model right on its head.
Okay, so what is it, really? The big idea here is separation. Virtualization is all about creating a software-based or virtual version of something, like a whole computer, and completely separating it from the physical hardware it's running on. You're basically tricking the software into thinking it has its very own dedicated machine all to itself.
So let's break that down. You take one big, powerful physical server, and using some really clever software, you slice it up into multiple, totally isolated virtual servers. This means one machine can literally act like many. You could have one virtual machine running Windows, another one running Linux, each with their own apps, all at the same time on the exact same piece of hardware. It's a huge boost for efficiency. And what's kind of wild is, while it feels so modern, this idea actually goes way back to the old mainframe days.
So how is this magic trick actually pulled off? Well, the real star of the show, the piece of software that makes all this possible, is called a hypervisor.
To put it simply, the hypervisor is a special layer of software that sits right between the physical hardware and all those virtual machines. Think of it like a traffic cop. It manages all the server's real resources, the CPU power, the memory, the storage, and carefully hands them out to each of the virtual machines as they need them. And this diagram here shows you exactly how it works. At the very bottom, you've got your physical server, the actual metal box. Right on top of that, you have the hypervisor software. And then, sitting on top of the hypervisor, you have all the individual virtual machines. Each one thinks it's its own computer, totally clueless that it's sharing the hardware with others.
Now, when you get into the big leads, like in professional data centers, the kind you'll almost always see is a Type 1, or bare metal, hypervisor. And the name says it all. It gets installed directly onto the server hardware itself. There's no other operating system in the way. This gives it a direct line to the hardware, which means incredible performance and rock-solid stability. It's the industry standard for a reason.
And this isn't just theory, These are the real-world tools that companies use every single day. Just like you have different brands of cars, you have different brands of hypervisors. You've got huge names like VMware and Microsoft's Hyper-V, plus powerful open source options like KVM. They're all doing the same fundamental job, running millions and millions of virtual machines all across the globe. So, what happens when you take this technology and apply it across a whole data center? Well, the results are nothing short of transformative.
This chart shows the before and after, and it is a night and day difference. We went from that old world of one server, one job, which was super inflexible, crazy expensive, and just plain inefficient, and we moved to a new world of one server, many jobs. Suddenly, your hardware utilization goes through the roof, you need way fewer physical machines, and that means you're using less power, less cooling, less space. It is a massive, massive win.
Okay, so here's the crucial point. This is about so much more than just making data centers run a little bit better. This massive technological leap is what directly made this single biggest change in computing possible, the cloud.
I mean, think about it. When you go to Amazon Web Services or Microsoft Azure and you spin up a server, what's actually happening? They aren't shipping a physical computer to your house. No, you're getting a virtual machine created in seconds by a hypervisor on one of their servers. The ability to create, run, and delete these virtual computers whenever you want, that is the cloud. Without virtualization, the cloud as we know it today just couldn't exist. It's that simple.
So we'll leave you with this thought. Virtualization was this revolutionary act of separation, of unchaining software from the specific hardware it had to run on. And that unlocked a tidal wave of innovation. It really makes you wonder, what's the next great separation in technology going to be? What's the next layer we're going to abstract away that will change everything all over again?